ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Woodridge Parents Podcast, episode number 15.
15.
Which is crazy that we're at 15 already because we've been blowing through them. It feels pretty good.
So wait a second. Sorry to cut you off, but like, how many months have we been doing this for now? Because if there are obviously 4 weeks in the month.
Almost 3 months.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, we missed like 1 week, sort of. We did like a half a week.
That was like during Christmas, right? Or something? It was like New Year's or whatever.
When I was sick and
I do remember when our whole house was like full of like germs. That was fun.
We still went to the judo tournament. That was good. I think actually we got more sick at the judo tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely did. There. I think I was the one that was actually like okay that day.
Yeah, but hi, how are you?
Oh yeah, we're back. Sorry,
I'm Daniel. This is my beautiful and lovely wife, Kelly.
Hello, everybody.
We are the hosts of the Woodridge Parents Podcast. My Instagram, also known as Deuce Staley. I guess we could eventually go in that. Like that could be a topic here. Okay, this will be the
so random. We're veering off already. Okay,
let's go. This is the random veering topic. We just spent all this time looking for topics, and now we're going to hit the random veer topic of the origin of my nickname, Deuce Staley.
Oh yes, I remember when I first met him. Oh my goodness, how long ago was it?
Wow,
12 years. I know exactly how long ago it was. Yes, I do. It was 12 years ago. Almost 12 years ago.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
April 13th.
Okay, go ahead.
2013.
Okay, proceed to, apparently make fun of my nickname.
No, I'm not making fun of your nickname at all. When we met, people, when we were there in the bar, I remember hearing, oh, Deuce. And I'm like, Deuce. And then you were telling me that your name is Dan. I'm like, okay. And then someone was calling you Deuce. I'm like, is this guy giving me his wrong name?
Well, I mean.
But again, I didn't know you, so I didn't know.
I don't
I'm like, what the heck? Then you had another friend who he had a nickname. And I thought I was going crazy. I wasn't even drinking that much.
And
that
a lot
night.
of the nicknames that we would have for each other were just like other names.
Well, yeah,
so
it's confusing.
It did become a little confusing. Like, I think Kevin's nickname was Ralph.
And I honestly thought his name was Ralph the entire, because I used to have a friend named Ralph too. And I don't think
Ralph was in attendance that night. He might have been, but
I don't know. But
Ralph used to make special appearances. Yeah, you never knew when Ralph was coming.
I'm just saying, I was hearing like all these names, and again, coming from, I never met you before. How would I know like your name was Deuce or Dan? Then you have Ralph and Kat. I'm like, wait a second, there's too many names for the amount of people that are here right now.
Girls don't really do like full-time nicknames like that, huh?
I did. I had one during high school.
Yeah, but like they called you that.
Yes, they did in high school in the halls. Okay. Yes, my girls would. Yeah. They for 4 years because we were on.
And Kelso.
Yes, they would call me. Violet will still call me Kelso. She wasn't even in my school.
Well, shout out to Violet.
She went to Kearney.
Commented on our great Cornholio picture.
And Jeanette, she will call me Kelso to this day. Even when I think we were talking a while back, she called me Kelso.
Yeah. Anthony probably had the longest running nickname, and he doesn't even really use it anymore because now he's like kind of like, Anthony, I love you. And I know you're one of our most fervent listeners, but you're a little older now, and you don't. The Aunt Nice. Aunt Nice is
I remember that nickname. Okay,
character, which might be better off. Aunt Nice was a crazy guy.
Bring it back a little bit. You never know.
Crazy guy. He still gets it now. Him and other nickname Joey Platt. Joey Platt go out. Yeah, Joey Platinum.
Oh, I don't know that one. Sorry.
But yeah, so Deuce Staley is my nickname. I spell it Deuce, which is the appropriate way to spell the word deuce because it's like a word. The person whom I was named after was a football player, also named Deuce Staley.
Now, is that his nickname or like his real name?
No, that was his real name.
Okay.
And it was also spelled Duce.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Dookie or Deuce.
Yeah.
Deuce. I don't, whatever. He played actually for the Eagles at this time.
Okay.
It was it was generally the summer before senior year. This was probably like in the spring. The summer before senior year was our best summer. Like,
mine too.
Unbelievable.
Mine too, man.
Unbelievable summer. The summer of 2001.
Okay, I was a year younger than you guys.
Right. So it was an unbelievable summer. We were going out all the time, hanging out with the kids from Hasbrook Heights all the time. So we almost instantly hooked in with those kids, like me, Nick, Joey, a couple of other ones, mostly because we played sports against them and knew these kids.
Yeah, it's different.
So we kind of jumped in with that crew from Heights, and not to like talk smack on Woodridge or our grade in particular, but it was kind of just better over there too. Like they had like house parties, like they would. I remember the one first time that which I won't give any names because this probably wasn't great. One of the first times we ever jumped in the car with those kids, we were hanging on the boulevard, and I guess we did have cell phones by this time. So like we talked to one of them. They're like, "Yo, we're gonna go do this thing. Come pick us up." They pulled up in like 12 cars.
Yeah.
Like everybody had cars, dude. Like almost nobody in Woodridge had cars. Like Nick had a car, Joey had a car. Like I could like borrow a car. I didn't have my own car, but like literally pulled up in like 12 cars.
I remember those days.
We jumped in this car, and this was like one of the first times ever hanging out with these kids. Like we've known these kids basically our whole life, but never really hung out with them before. We jump in the car, drive across Hasbrook Heights, and pull up to this like apartment. All these kids had to, 40 kids maybe. And one of our other kids that we know apparently had beef with some kid, and he like went up, knocked on the kid's door, and like pulled the kid out of the house to like fight him.
What?
And like we thought we were big tough guys, but we were like, Jesus Christ, what is going on right now? It's like we can't be doing these terrible things, like. And that was the introduction, but nothing really happened.
You guys peel out real quick, or you guys stay there?
I wasn't driving. I was in the other kid's car. We weren't going nowhere.
Oh man,
we didn't go anywhere, dude.
Oh man.
And we eventually left with him. Nothing like he didn't like really like beat the kid up, but like that was the first time I was like, oh boy, all right. This is why these kids beat us in football for the past 75 years.
Yeah, that's probably why they're used to that. No, but you are definitely right. Right, like going summer going into senior year. Like I had my car. Another one of my friend Jenna, actually her too, and then my other friend Jenna, who's in my grade, had a car. My friend Sabrina would have a car. Jen didn't have a car yet because she was born in December, so she didn't have that yet. But she was always in my car anyway. And like we just had like all of our friends, like even like the seniors that graduated, they didn't go like away to school yet. Right. So like it was just such a fun time. Like such a fun time. It
was good.
And like, we didn't have as many like parties as you guys did, but like we did. But like, we were a little bit more under, I don't want to say house arrest.
Most of the parties we had were at Nick's house right down the block from Jeanette's house.
No, I know. Because a lot of our dads were cops too. So like they kind of knew like what was like my friend Sabrina's dad was a cop in North Arlington. My dad was a cop in Lyndhurst. So like
locked it down
everywhere. Like we usually hung out. Like we were always usually at my house, Jeanette's house. Like we kind of like made like our rounds or whatever. But we used to, and this is gonna sound really, really lame right now. Very lame.
It's okay.
We used to do a lot of that like weird New Jersey stuff. Like go to like different places. But like for that, we would have like 4 cars deep. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, like I wasn't allowed to drive my car with more people because I was under that new driving law or whatever. So we had one of our buddies drive it. And again, I had a Mustang. So you can't really fit too many people in there, technically. So in my little Mustang, we would do like, my friend would be driving. I'd be in the passenger seat and I had like 4 people in the back. I don't even know how. 4 people in the back, okay? In my Mustang. But again, it was so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, just so much fun. And then like, we like meet at places and do silly crap or whatever. But again, it was so much fun. That's probably better off than
what a lot of kids did is just drink in the woods and do drugs.
Yeah, we weren't, especially during like soccer season and everything like that. And like, so like our coaches called us. I'm sure there like they made us.
Queen of Peace kids that were drinking.
Oh, I'm sure they were too. But I mean, like for us, like our coaches made sure like we were home. They would like not call like our cell phones. They would call like our house phones. And either we would have to be like at somewhere like everyone had to be at my house.
People aren't doing that on like game nights, but.
Well, game nights for us, I mean, like we would have like for soccer, it was always Tuesday, Thursday, then Saturday mornings. So like,
what did you do on Sundays?
I always worked.
Right. So you're saying Saturday nights your coach was calling, make sure you guys are all home?
Not Saturday nights. Well, of course,
yeah. When it doesn't involve him, and it doesn't mean you're not going to show up to practice. He doesn't really.
No, I know. But then even like after I worked on Saturdays, I would go out with my friends there. But like, I was always working early on Sunday mornings too. So I couldn't really do that much of it. And plus I wasn't allowed to do that stuff.
We veered into a summer before senior year conversation instead of what my nickname was conversation.
I'm sorry.
So the long story, longer, I guess. So the Cowboys were pretty bad at that time. And the Eagles were pretty good. So I generally kind of rooted for them a little bit more, especially when there was a Staley on the team. And his name is Deuce Staley. So that's pretty much the quick part of it. I actually like remember the first time anyone ever said it and like where it stuck. We were with the Heights kids and we were like throwing the football. You could tell like it was so like still in high school. We were like throwing the football around. And the one kid, shout out Steve Hunn, this little buddy of mine, I talk to him every once in a while. He was like, Staley, huh? What's your name? Deuce Staley? And literally it kind of just stuck from there. I was like, oh, I guess it is now.
And it's actually cute too because like your first name is Dan. So like D&D.
Yeah. And if I ever told the kids this, they would probably lose their mind. And also shout out to Steve Hun, sorry. He's Korean. His last name is Hyun, like Hyun. And his online name on like Xbox or whatever was Hyunny Buns.
Oh, that's so cute. That's awesome.
Sorry, Steve, but it was great.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it was great. So that was good. But yeah, so that's the origin of the name. And I guess we'll have a new reel about summers before senior year and have fun there. So shout out to all the I guess seniors now who are about to be in a lot of transition. Especially because winter seasons are pretty much officially over now. The spring seasons are starting. Yeah, final. And shout out to the juniors. You know, press through this season. Any juniors, especially playing sports or even not playing sports, just going to school, whatever. Focus really hard on like these next 3 months. And then you got like quite possibly, again, God willing, hopefully everything's decent enough in your life. But if you work really hard and don't screw things up, you have a really, really phenomenal summer coming up.
Really fun. Very memorable.
Because you have a taste of freedom, but you still have all the security and safety of living at home and not having responsibility.
Now, I have a question for you. Thinking about like juniors and everything like that. Did Woodridge have a junior prom or is it only senior prom?
It's junior and seniors.
Okay, so it's actually 2 years of the same, like same. Okay, all right, yeah. Queen Bee's had like a junior prom and then they had like a senior prom.
Yeah, I mean we wouldn't have had enough people.
I was just scared. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I didn't go junior year. I just went senior year.
Okay. Yeah. And then too with like, when then that coming down to the shore and everything like prom weekend and stuff like that.
Well, no, I did that. I did that twice.
That's what my brother did. He didn't go to any of his proms, but he went down the shore the whole time.
Oh God. Honestly, like knowing how picky and not like snotty, but like needy I am at hotels and stuff right now.
Oh God.
I think back to what we endured and lived through and with, and I'm blown away. Like the first year we went to the Topsider, which was one of the most disgusting hotels in all of the state of New Jersey.
Yes. I remember. Oh my God.
Horrid. And I believe my room was me, Joey. I want to say Jeff and Daryl, but I'm pretty sure that was 8th grade in Washington. I'm almost positive that was 8th grade in Washington. Joey was in my room and 2 other people, I forget. But, screw it. Joey's not a Woodridge parent anymore. He lives in Florida. First night, Joey pukes all over the bathroom. Pukes in the sink. Pukes in everywhere. We basically now have no use of the bathroom for the next however many days we were.
So funny.
We could go to like the toilet. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. The sink, shot, shower, shot. So thankfully, there was, multiple rooms of Woodridge. Maybe 10 people had rooms. So I remember like taking shower, like begging the girls down. There was a bunch of like girls who had a room downstairs. Yeah. And I remember begging them like, please, can I use your shower? Like, because like you knew they were kind of keeping it clean.
Of course, yeah.
They didn't have like men's disgustingness all over the place within a day. That's gross. First night.
Gross.
So like that was fine. And we would walk back and forth to the and I remember it being like chilly too. Like,
yeah, I remember it was in May, was it?
Yeah.
May?
Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
We never actually went like after prom. It was always we went Memorial Day.
We went the day after.
Oh no. We didn't do
I
that.
still have pictures upstairs. I gotta show you later.
Yeah, I don't want to see those pictures.
I was fine.
But yeah, I mean, that we went Memorial Day, and the topsider was atrocious. And we stayed there for, a couple nights. And I remember going home and being like, thank God. And then again, the next year we went to the Glendale.
Oh,
which
that's
was
where
much
I
nicer.
was.
Like that was they had the two towers next to each other. I think they either got rid of it or something's going up there. The place was much nicer. But as was generally the theme, we go hard like the first night, and then I'm just kind of out of commission for multiple nights.
Yeah.
And then I remember specifically who the characters were in this thing, but they shall go without being named in this particular moment. But I remember it was maybe like the third or fourth day, and I had been basically in bed for like a day and a half because I was like, "You people are nuts!" And then it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and there were two people in the room making noise, and I said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna really kind of."
No, I know.
Delve deeper into that. I was like, that's it. I just got up, got my bag together and walked out. I remember another young lady whose children are in school now with us. She was like out already getting like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something. And she was like, Staley, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going home.
Did you drive down there?
Yeah.
You had your car. Okay.
I was like, I'm going home. And I drove home. Which is a kind of a theme I've done plenty of times, especially in Atlantic City.
I was going to say that, yeah.
I mean, like, even if we would have rooms back in the day in Atlantic City, but like you lose all your money, you're just laying in bed staring at the wall. I'm like, I'm just going home. Like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to fall asleep here, let alone the ride home. I might as well just go home.
No, yeah.
So I don't even necessarily know where we got on that, but
I don't know.
Apparently we made all this list, and again, we spent like a lot of time going back and forth on this.
This is what happens. I told
and
you.
Now it's been 19 minutes and we haven't talked about any of it.
But and I told him.
Literally did. We said the same thing.
This was going to happen.
It's the Akashic record. We're not like, there's an idea. Here we go. Here's another one. There's an idea that like we don't know things in our monkey brains here. Like this is actually just an antenna that is catching the knowledge that is already out in the world. Interesting. Okay. So like, you're kind of just like pumping in and out of having all this knowledge. So, it becomes a possible thing where like a lot of like science, like Newton, I think Newton, but like Tesla and all these guys, like a lot of their ideas that they came up with, they swear like they didn't really come up with it. It just kind of like appeared in their heads. Okay. And like supposedly Tesla had like the ability, he had like, he said that like in his brain, he could imagine like entire machines and be able to like pick the pieces apart and like put them
kind of like a 3D image or whatever it is.
Basically, yes.
Like a hologram, like
but like in his brain, he could. I mean, listen, you got to think some people can imagine things more strongly than others.
Well, I think they must, because in order for things to be brought to life and to be brought to be like in like a concrete state, you have to be able to do that.
Well, that's
or no.
So yes, but maybe instead of them just like figuring it out, it's actually kind of like being downloaded into them.
Isn't that like that movie with a Matt Damon? It was where Elysium or whatever it was, where they could
Elysium. No,
but like they like download something to his brain. You remember when they like, got him all like in like the machinery and stuff like that?
Well, yes, but Elysium was just a futuristic like healthcare movie.
No, yeah. I don't know. Like, it kind of like really to me.
Dope, to be honest.
It was pretty good.
All right. Well, we'll kind of roughly transition to touching on what we talk about, because you did talk about your coaches and how they called your house and everything.
Yeah.
So the post that I had about the coaching politics or whatever with Coach Rock's issue at Waldwick has been doing pretty well. Got a good number of likes and it's been running up the views. So we'll kind of just touch on that. We've said everything there is to say about that particular issue in Waldwick. Once I hear anything more, I will find out more. I have seen, I hate necessarily like addressing people directly, but screw this guy. So the guy who I said his name was Adam
Mm-hmm.
Johnston. It's spelled Atom. That's his name.
Like
an atom, like in like
an atom bomb.
Correct.
Okay.
Now I don't know like his origin and nationality. I don't know if he's like from the Soviet Union or that's how they spell it or whatever. But like,
okay.
I'm curious. I don't want to make fun of someone for something that they don't like
have control over.
But like, if he was named Adam like that, I could make fun of his parents because they also probably are clowns. I mean, if their son is a level of clown, then he also should be a level of clown, right? Like, I don't know.
Okay, we're getting into it now.
I know. As the more and more I've asked around the AAU circuit of people, most people also don't really like him. So I've now been a bit more empowered to not like him.
Have you talked to Coach Rock at all?
I have texted with Coach Rock a little bit. Okay. Nothing in particular. I just, told him that I felt bad how it went and
of course,
disgrace and blah, blah, blah. He didn't, he responded and he talked and I love Coach Rock. Everything was good. But he doesn't like chit chat too much. Really.
Oh, no.
Like, we got into it a little bit, but not got into it. But like,
we spoke about, yeah.
So, it is what it is. But apparently I had gotten a good couple messages about that post.
Really?
And one person had connected it to the football coach from Woodridge who just left.
Really? Okay.
Now, I had heard he was leaving. He's got 2 young kids. He wanted to be with his kids and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But apparently there were a couple other issues that were brought up that might be a possible reason as well, which are interesting. I never really met the guy Cutrona. They've had his stint as coach was one of the more successful stints any coach has had in Woodridge in a while. Now, whether that's him, whether that's more people in the program now, whether it is whatever, I don't know. I thought he was pretty good. I was told by other coaches who knew him prior to coming to Woodridge that he was going to be pretty good. And it certainly did work out that way. The couple games I was at, even the Heights one, I was on the field a little bit. He's intense. So I'll give him that. So I don't. Some people don't want to handle that. I can understand that, but I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're intense and you're not winning, that's one thing. But if you're winning and intense, shut up. And there was one thing brought up about that game in particular that I don't even know if I saw. But apparently the coaching staff didn't go in at halftime into the locker room.
So they didn't go in to kind of like talk.
They were losing. They were getting beat up pretty good, I think, already at that point. And I think they had already lost to Heights maybe the week before, 2 weeks before, because they played them in like the playoffs. Okay. And then this was the States. I forget. But yeah, I mean, they were losing at halftime. Okay. And apparently the coaches didn't go in the locker room at all to say anything.
That's weird.
It's a little rough, dude. I don't love it. I don't even want to say his name because I actually do like the guy. One of our coaches before Coach Rock we had at Woodridge in basketball, I think. So my freshman and sophomore years, we had a really good run our sophomore year. We had a really good team. And then like we went on a losing streak and then we lost in the first round of the playoffs. And I remember in the locker room, he just sat there with his head like in his hands. Didn't say a word. And that was basically it. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, that's not good. Yeah. And I liked him. He was all right. But I was like, oh, that don't look good.
That doesn't spark any,
Yeah. And then actually when he got let go the next year, I remember saying something to Coach Valenzola, the AD. I was like, we kind of like this guy. Like, I actually said to him, I go, unless you're bringing in Jimmy Jancarelli or Coach Rock, who Jimmy Jancarelli, Mr. Jancarelli, and Jimmy, he graduated with my mother. So
Jimmy, so it's always,
But Mr. Coach Jancarelli. And I said that to him, and Valenzola just like kind of, he was like, oh, well, And I was sly enough back then as a 16-year-old. I go, whoa, wait a second. What do you mean?
I bet.
And he goes, oh, well, I guess, you're going to have to find out. I go, what? No, come on. Because he was a gym teacher for my parents at Woodard. So I knew, he knew who I was and we had a decent little relationship. And it was Coach Rock.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess he was actually right at that point. But, it's tough, dude. You don't go in at halftime. That's not a great look, really. No. I don't care what you say,
Gotta say something.
Jesus,
gotta do something.
I didn't, in my last 2 years at Waldwick, I won 2 games in the freshman team. Mm-hmm. I always went in at halftime. Jeez. Yeah. You always say something. Dude.
You have to say something.
Jeez, go in and yell at the kids. My God.
Yeah, I mean, do something.
I broke my last couple of games, I splashed an iced coffee all over the place. I broke my clipboard. It was on the way out, but I don't know. You got to do something. But that being said, I thought he did a great job. Mm-hmm. And apparently there was a bunch of rumblings from parents. Why isn't my kid playing? Why isn't this? Which unbelievably so, if you're winning, how does that get any sort of credence whatsoever? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, so there was apparently a bunch of parents, some who may or may not have power. So I don't really know.
I mean, I know we're from a different generation than these parents. I mean, listen, we have little kids. We don't have kids that are in high school right now. But I mean,
the parents are older than us.
No. But I'm saying, I don't remember my parents ever saying, "Oh yeah, I need to have my kid have more time on the field or whatever like that." I don't remember parents really doing that.
I mean, parents definitely did it back then.
Okay.
To be fair to them and to you as a good athlete,
yeah.
Was there ever a time where you thought you should be on the field and you weren't?
I was always really on the field,
right?
But
so
I mean,
you played a lot.
I played a lot, yeah.
So I don't know, dude. And to be fair, Coach Rock does this kind of same thing too. He plays young kids a lot. So when you played, there could have been a junior who you were better than, but maybe he was close. And maybe they excuse my language, the junior's parents said, yeah, she's really good, but, my daughter's good too. And she's been playing for 2 years and now this kid comes in.
But
so I get it. I don't, whether they're right or wrong or not, flag football had some issues last year too for us.
Yeah.
Thankfully we also had other coaches on the team who, were closer, familiar with us.
Yeah.
So that worked out, but yeah, things don't always work out, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm really playing devil's advocate here because I'm for the coach in this situation, but if you don't think the coach is doing a good job and your kid's not playing, I don't know how. I'm not saying you should do it, but I don't know how I would take that if that were to arise. No,
I understand. I know. I get it. I do. I mean, I think there's a big difference between the rec playing and then also high school. I always thought high school, if you're good, you're going to play.
Well, of
in
course,
high school,
that's what it's supposed to be.
It's a little bit of a different situation than it is, right? You know what I'm saying?
Rec is,
rec is rec. Yeah,
it's competition.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. If you're good when you get, because when you get to high school, it's a different level. Yeah, people have to understand it's a different level of playing, and the school wants to win. It's not there to give your kid playing time. In high school,
I don't know how much each individual school wants to win.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I understand that. Yeah.
I don't know.
And if it's that point, if they don't really want to win or they're not good, then obviously rotate the kids. But if you're at an IHA or Don Bosco, your best kids are playing.
That stuff happys then too.
Really?
It happened at Bergen Catholic. That's where Vinny's coaching with them now.
Okay.
The guy Dave Bell. He was from Woodridge. He went to school with my parents.
Oh, okay.
He was the coach at Bergen Catholic for I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They won. He put 100 kids in college.
Wow.
I don't know. Again, I'm kind of just making these numbers.
That's fine, yeah.
The one kid from Bergen, he was the best wrestler in New Jersey history. He was a great coach at Bergen Catholic. They won the championships.
Yeah.
Decades.
Okay.
And apparently, there was problems with parents. And at Bergen Catholic, those parents pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then also donate money.
Yeah.
So if a parent's rich, that's a whole different ball.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
So, it does happen, dude. It's tough.
But like at those schools, like the Don Bosco was, the Bergen Catholic, something like that. Like even like when you try out for a sport, don't you have to be phenomenal even to make it on the team?
Yeah.
So I mean, like then again,
but it all evens out.
Dude.
Like, it all evens out.
Okay.
Because it's all There's gonna be there's gonna be good kids. It's probably even worse there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's good kids,
like all good
who
kids
aren't playing.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
No,
yeah. So that was
then
kind
you
of
start
going
saying,
for.
"Well, Jesus, I should have stayed in Lodi, or I should have."
No.
stayed
Yeah.
in,
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's tough, but yeah, I don't know. Really, you have to. It's each individual thing, but like if the coach is having success and you're winning games. Unless they didn't win a state championship.
Yeah.
But in comparison to what Woodridge has had in the past, they're phenomenal.
Of course, yeah.
It's, I'm pretty sure my father was on the best Woodridge football team of all time. I think that was either the 70 or 71 team.
Probably, yeah.
The state, like the whole playoff thing was different back then. Like you barely, I think they had like one game. I think the state championship game against Mountain Lakes, of which I think they lost, but like they were good back then.
Yeah.
And then after in the 70s, they had a couple good teams. They had one good team in the 80s, literally zero good teams in the 90s.
Yeah.
And actually, that's not true. They had one good team in the 90s, I think 96, with shout out Danny Lopez, who, other than my dad, could have possibly been maybe the best athlete in Woodridge history.
Wow.
He got hurt his senior year when they were like undefeated, I think, and they ended up not pulling it out. Yeah.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, he was great too. I saw him play a couple times. He was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He was big and fast. And
yeah.
strong.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
Yeah, there's like some story behind that too. It was a nice long episode this week. Apparently, like there was a kid, and I've heard actually two versions of this story now.
Okay.
So the old version we heard was like there was this kid who was kind of like a goofball, and like he was on the team, but he wasn't very good, and he was on like the kickoff team.
Okay.
So like he was supposed to go on the kickoff team, but like he didn't have his helmet on or something. He forgot. So like Danny went out on the kickoff team and he got hurt on the kickoff. Another version of that story was that the kicker, he was supposed to squib kick the ball. You know how they kick it and just kind of like roll it?
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't want the guy to catch it and run. It's, you're going to get more yards. You're going to give up more yards, but you're not going to, the odds of them picking it up and running for a touchdown are less likely. So I had heard that the kicker was supposed to squib kick the ball, but he thought he was a really great kicker and he was going to kick it out of the end zone for a touchback, and he didn't, and that's how the kid got hurt. Oh. So, but these things happen, and
yeah,
I've heard there are now, and it's kind of might be involved in this kind of general story with the coach, but there's a bunch of kids reclassifying. Now, I don't think you can reclassify once you're in high school.
I honestly don't know about that because again, that's not my
pretty sure you only get 4 years of eligibility
for high school.
Correct.
Yes. So
like if you get left back your senior year and you played all 4 years, you can't play.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that means if that's like varsity though. Like freshman year, I just played on the freshman team. Do I get 4 years of varsity? I'm pretty sure it's not. Pretty sure it's just playing.
Yeah. Does it depend on how many, like going with that, to get your varsity letter, how many halves you play? Is there a certain amount of halves like where that
I
would?
don't think so.
Do you know what I mean?
I think with eligibility, like it's like as soon as the season starts, like if you play, you have now used the year. Because it's not like they're not counted by days.
No, I was just curious because I know when you get your varsity letter or something, you have to have a certain amount of time on the field. You can't just be on varsity and just sit the bench and get your varsity letter. That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know if it makes a difference. Like once you play in high school.
Yeah.
Because if you're good as a freshman, you can go play varsity. Like it's not, like you're able to be on the varsity team, I think.
Okay.
So like a lot of these kids are reclassifying in 8th grade and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We should have just kept Danny back in kindergarten, obviously. But could you imagine how gigantic he would be if he was in kindergarten right now?
No. Oh my gosh.
But see, also like, especially like in judo, that it wouldn't really work.
No.
Because it just goes by your birth date, like your age, the year. So like, it doesn't really matter. So then if you're playing club sports, I guess club sports won't matter either, but like.
Goes by your birthday.
Yeah. I know. Shout out Kenny Lopera and his son. His son's going to Del Barton for wrestling, which is the top wrestling team in the state. So God bless him. I hope he does great. But he reclassified too. But I think like you kind of have to do it if you're really, if you're trying to be one of the best. Now him going to Del Barton, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like reclassifying at Woodridge, I don't know.
I mean, at the end of every year, they always have a meeting, to see like if the child's going to be.
This has nothing.
I know. It's like
literally nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with that. This is about sports.
Okay.
Like the kids are being held back by their parents solely to make them older in sports.
Okay, but then it also has to go to an academic standpoint to actually have them be held back.
No, it doesn't.
No, but I mean, then what would be the reason to have them be held back?
Because daddy said so. What do you mean?
But if they're getting good grades in school, there's no reason, there's no recommendation, there's no reason to hold the child back.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
If I want to hold Daniel back in 1st grade right now, am I allowed to do it? Yes or no?
No.
You won't, I'm not going to dive too deep in this now, but I'm pretty sure you can. I don't know if maybe you have to go to Catholic school.
But
maybe you got to do a year at.
What would the basis of it be? It couldn't just be to have him be held for sports. It wouldn't make any sense.
I think you might be incorrect solely because of COVID and the rules that changed during COVID.
I don't know exactly, so I'm not going to say
this kid
100%.
is 13 right now. So COVID was 5 years ago. So he would have been in school during COVID.
Yes.
So if Daniel was say 2 years older and would have been in school during COVID, and I said, no, I don't want him to go, would you have just skipped him to say he would have been in kindergarten?
Okay.
And they would have had masks. They would have had all this stuff.
Yeah, I was teaching it. I know. Yeah.
And I said, no. I was like, we're not sending him. He'll do kindergarten next year.
But wait, here's the thing. Are you saying that he would be in kindergarten for the year and then he would do it for a second time, or he wasn't going?
We're not doing kindergarten during COVID. So
but
the year he was supposed to.
But by law, they have to be in school by 6.
Were different because of COVID. Again, we could dive into this, but I think they were changed because of that.
I don't really know, but
because if I'm a super COVID serious person, I would say no, my kid's not going into school with all these sick kids.
But they weren't going into school; they were doing it through Zoom. So they gave people
a lot.
I know, I was there, but for a very long time, people were doing it through Zoom, and we were teaching. Because I remember teaching. So I was upstairs.
Yeah, I think during COVID there was a little bit more leeway for parents to say no, we're not doing this.
So I don't know. I'm not really sure about that, but I can just speak from experience that we were doing in school. I know in Lyndhurst we were doing every other day. We were having different groups of kids coming in. Then we were doing Zoom sessions where we weren't having them all together at the same time. And I don't know, numbers going forward weren't that much different where parents could have held back their kids just not going to school. Because by law, at 6 years old, your child has to be in school.
Right. Under normal circumstances, that is true. But COVID was not a normal circumstance.
Well, yeah, because they didn't really know what was going on during COVID. So they were just kind of playing off the cuff. They didn't really have anything exactly written down or anything yet because it's never been done before. So again, like I don't really know exactly if that's true or not, but I can just speak from experience and like what we did and the kids moving forward, that the class numbers in like first and second grade were pretty much the same. They weren't like there wasn't like a big influx of children coming into the grade level when COVID was like kind of like done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So
I don't know.
ChatGPT has helped us.
Okay.
In New Jersey and most U.S. states, there is no blanket legal right for a parent to reclassify or hold a student back strictly for athletic reasons. Decisions about a child repeating grade typically involve the local school's district's policies and must have a sound academic or developmental basis. Here are some key points to keep in mind. Local school district policies, and JSIAA eligibility rules. Once children reach high school, sets the rules regarding age and years of eligibility. If a student is older than a typical for a grade, or if they have attended high school longer than usual, they can lose eligibility credits. Redshirting in high school or intentionally delaying graduation triggers violations. Yeah, I don't know. It might be. It might just be for like Catholic schools.
Catholic schools don't. I mean, for Catholic school, the laws don't really apply because as for like a little perfect example, very basic, snow days. Like we have to, if we haven't had any snow days so far, but like we have to be in school for 183 days by state law to get state funding. You know what I'm saying? So if we have a snow, we are allowed 3 snow days per school year. If we don't use them, they add on to another area for a break to make it longer. If we do use them or go over them, we have to pay that back. Not pay that back, but we have to go to school so the children are in school for 183 days. For Catholic schools, if they have a snow day, for example, John, he gets out on I think June 11th, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So say Daniel goes to 8th grade in Woodridge.
Okay.
And then the next year, instead of sending him to high school, we send him to St. Mary's in 8th grade again.
Okay. But see, the thing is, he has completed his 8th grade year, depending on his grades. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hold back a child for.
We're not holding him back. We're going to a different school.
But you're holding him back in the same grade level.
Well, but Catholic schools, I could do that.
Yes, but what would the standing be? When he gets his
Catholic school, I don't have to give them
when he has his transfer papers that come from the central office from, let's say, Woodridge or whatever public school district is going to say that his 8th grade year was completed. When you go to St. Mary's they only have a grammar school anymore, but like when you go to St. Mary's, what is the reason for putting him into 8th grade again?
Right. You keep telling me at Catholic schools, I don't really have to give you a reason.
But again, like why? What's the purpose? Based on what?
It can't just be
athletic ability.
If I send him to Catholic school, I don't have to give a reason.
I didn't say you have to give a reason. You have, if he has all of his paperwork and he graduated 8th grade in Woodridge, he's going to repeat 8th grade again when he's gotten good grades.
Right. You keep stumbling over the grades thing. I don't like. Again, this is a theoretical situation. If my kid is going to get a scholarship for wrestling or basketball or football,
okay,
I don't really care about that. We're talking about things that theoretically could make my son, and I'm not even talking about Daniel. Now I'm in the head of a Bergen Catholic quarterback's father.
Okay.
We're thinking about getting my son into Division I football and then maybe into the NFL where he's going to make $100 million.
Okay.
The NJEDA or whatever can take a walk. Like whatever the legal, am I allowed to send him to the St. Mary's? Whatever. I don't know the answer, and you don't know the answer.
No.
Fine. But like, it's happening all the time now. And I'm pretty sure the guy, and you might be right, because the guy from Westwood, I think Campanile, and he's the coach at Bergen Catholic or something. There's 2 Campanile brothers. They coach football at PC in Bergen or whatever. But he like sued the state or whatever because he wanted his son to go somewhere else. So like it's happening all over the place now. Now I don't know the actual like legalities of it, but
But if it's happening,
okay. So then where do prep schools fall into this? Because you can graduate high school and go to Blair Prep, and you're still like You're not in college. It's prep school.
But is that after, like, so like what grade level would that be technically?
Prep.
So what is prep?
I don't know. You're the teacher.
Again, like you're asking me certain questions that I am not familiar with because I am in the lower grades.
What grade level is Blair prep?
Like, what is their criteria for admission into a prep school?
Postgraduate. That's what it is.
Okay. So
private boarding school in Blairstown that enrolls students 9 through 12 and also offers a postgraduate year.
Okay. So with going with that, I mean, what would be the criteria if they graduate 12th grade? You know what I'm saying? Like if they graduate 12th grade. So what would the criteria to be into going to a postgraduate school?
Well, I'm sure they have an entire curriculum, but it's probably stuff that preps them for college.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying they can't go into that prep school if that actual prep school post 12th grade.
They can. There's the prep schools are not in the NJSIAA.
Okay.
They're a separate entity.
So it's not 9 through 12. It's after 12th grade.
They have 9 through 12.
Okay,
and also a postgraduate program.
So,
which is a college prep.
No, I
understand. Rutgers prep. They have college prep schools where you live at the school.
No, I understand that. But I'm just saying, like, after a child, now, are you saying a child already, like he's in the senior year of high school, he graduated high school, and then going to that prep school? Is that what you're saying?
Many of them just go to the prep school to start, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but again, like, if you're going to that kind of like, I want to say like a limbo in between college, that would give them extra years to get a little bit ahead and then start for college as a freshman, being a little bit older. Correct? Yeah, no, I understand that. And that's actually a great idea. And that's actually, from my standpoint, a legitimate way to get the advantage over another person.
It's the same exact thing, just for 8th graders. It's the same.
But again, they graduated the 12th grade. They're not repeating that same curriculum again, and they're not a year older.
Fine.
That's what I'm trying to make my point. They are a year older, but I'm saying, like, if they got left back in 12th grade, okay, they would not be doing the same curriculum, and they wouldn't have graduated that 12th grade.
What if they legitimately did get left back?
Then it's a different story because their grades suffered where they have to redo the curriculum. We were talking about someone that was academically on level.
Really smart. But he's close to being a professional athlete.
Okay.
So when he gets into 8th grade, well, we should do it now then, realistically, because the earlier the better. We should now tell him to go to school and pretend to be stupid. Because if he fails the rest of his classes for the rest of the remaining year, would she hold him back?
No.
What do you mean? Why? Because his grades already are good enough to push him through?
Of course, yeah.
He can act pretty stupid.
Okay. Stop right now, because now I'm starting to get a little annoyed. Enough.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Enough. You maybe have to be real serious for a while. Like, I don't like that.
But I mean, Johnny's still in Catholic school. He doesn't have to go to kindergarten next year.
Yes, he does.
He's got a late birthday too.
He's April. It's not late.
Like super late.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Wow. He's not. Now this is going back because I'm going back to kindergarten next year. So no. No.
All right. How about this?
Oh, here we go now. Go ahead.
We'll keep him back 1 year.
Oh my God.
But then for kindergarten, he can go to your school. And you could teach him.
No.
Why not?
We got to pay tuition to go to my school.
I thought you get free if you're a teacher.
No, it's not free. You get 25%.
25% off or
25% of 10,000.
75% off. Ugh. 10,000.
If oh my God. If you want to send a child
I know.
you know what this is. Come on. Making me go crazy over here.
I know. Jesus.
You see? Makes me go a little bit cuckoo. People wonder why I'm a nut sometimes.
No, they don't wonder.
Hey, watch it. Watch it. Watch it, mister.
Sorry, Kelly.
Exactly. Moving forward.
All right. We'll skip over that. Baseball did start. We should just blow through this because we're already fold up on here. Baseball has started. Our T-ball and instructional teams have started. Thankfully, we had practice at the same time, so that's good.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to be, right? Moving forward.
Definitely for that day, Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
T-ball is only practicing, I believe, once a week.
Once a week. That's it. Yeah.
Instructional, it will be twice.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
We're still figuring out that second time because nobody really wants to practice at 4:00, which I get. Although I would like to get it over with, but whatever.
5 o'clock. Well, 5 o'clock is kind of it's rough for the parents too because a lot of people don't get home to work. That's why it probably is at 5:30.
You know what I kind of just thought about that actually.
That's probably why.
Maybe. Well, no. But so I think at the high school softball field, there's spots, but there's the 4 to 5:30 and then 5:30 to 7. But if nobody's in the early one, I could just do like a
switcheroo 5
to
6. Yeah.
So, yeah, enough for nothing. Hopefully, Coach Gino will see this one. We could pass this message on to Coach Gino. Hour and a half T-ball practices. Oof.
A little rough.
Oh my Lord, dude! Like we were basically done. And we're looking over you, and these guys are putting kids up to bat. I'm like, oh my Lord, like, what are we doing? Now again, I guess if you only got one practice a week, fine.
And they actually were doing pretty good, and they were listening somewhat.
Listen, last year, I feel like we did less in practice.
We did better.
And they did so much better.
They did do good last year.
They did great last year.
Did.
But we kept them like moving, running constantly. That's what we did too.
I know.
But so that was fun. Lions Pancake Breakfast. Buy your tickets now. Coming up in less than a month, April 13th. Contact myself or any Woodridge Lions Club member. Woodridge Memorial Foundation dinner is coming up 2 weeks.
March 28th.
March 28th.
It's a Friday night.
I did get a list of the honorees. So this year, our honorees for the 2025 Memorial Foundation dinner are Lucia DiNapoli, Kristen Schwartz, Rita May, Jackie and James Marr, and Steve Saraceno. I don't know Steve or Rita. Congratulations to them. Jimmy and Jackie Marr I've known pretty much most of my life. Jimmy is the head basketball coach at Woodridge. Jackie is the head football coach at Beckton. Also the JV coach at Woodridge. Mrs. Schwartz obviously is Daniel's current teacher.
Danny loves her.
We'll be there and happy to support Mrs. Schwartz. And then obviously Mrs. DiNapoli. She helps us a lot. I think she runs the Lions Leo's Club. So she does so much with us. She had told Jack and us for years that she never, ever wanted to be nominated from the Memorial Foundation. She was always one that helped us set up the teachers to get going. Yeah. And I remember last year she told us that she never wanted to be nominated. And then this year she got nominated. So if she wouldn't have said anything, maybe she would have slid through a little bit more. But as soon as you tell Jack that you don't want to be nominated for an award like this, you're getting nominated immediately. So we got that too. Kelly, what do you got?
I have my handy little notebook now that I organize all my stuff in, which I'm ready to go. Okay, so these things right now are for the for the schools. Tuesday, March 18th, there is a Board of Ed meeting at 7 p.m., their monthly meeting. On Friday, March 21st is the last day to enter the pre-K4 lottery, and it must be submitted by 3 o'clock. I'm doing this a little bit ahead of time. April 7th is a half a day dismissal for Doyle students. I know that parents need just kind of need to make sure their kids are taken care of because it is during the week and it's half a day. And kindergarten registration is still open. I probably have to do that later on today, actually. We're going to go now to the rec program. Some more of the summer rec registration begins April 28th at 8 a.m. and it goes through until May 19th. And the cost is $150 per child. With that, I know Danny loved it last year. Dropped them off around 8:50ish. It goes from 9 to 12. They do like little trips, like little good things. And honestly, it's just really good to have the kids just outside playing, not attached to the Xbox and the tablets and TV all day. And they also get 3 t-shirts with that. I know that when the teachers are ready,
they sent me a picture on his phone. Just
geez,
a close up of his face. That's fun.
Oh God.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And with that, every grade level is a different color. I know that Danny was yellow last year. I think going to second grade it's orange, but I'm not 100% sure. And for grades entering first and second grade is going to be at the intermediate school like last year, and third grade through eighth grade is going to be at the high school. Let me see. Yes, I did that. Going right off of what Dan said about T-ball and baseball. The April 5th is the opening day parade. We're getting more information about that. I don't know if the like where it starts changes or whatever, but we'll let everyone know. And just something a little bit of like a local news. I know Gus's last word, I actually just saw this on Facebook. Gus's last word is doing a networking event of all local professionals on Wednesday, the 19th from 6 to 8. The cost online is $28 plus tax and all that stuff. And then at the door, it is $40. So again, if you want to get out there, brand yourself or, market yourself better, just like local thing to do with drinks.
Just like your tutoring services?
Yes, well, I am tutoring. I actually have one girl currently, and then I have another prospect, but everything's going good. But again, I have to remember too, in order to fit, my tutoring in, I always have to make sure that our kids are taken care of first. So we always have to make, like just scheduling a little bit, just to make sure that I'm not like completely just like, going crazy, running around.
Get that money, lady.
But yeah, so, I'm still doing that. Summertime's gonna be a little bit different, obviously. But right now, everything's going good. That's really it for me for the other little topics going on.
Also, shout out Jan Promotions.
Oh, yes.
For all your marketing and printing needs. We are the Meadowlands' longest running promotional products company. Promotional.
I can't.
Promotional products being anything with your logo on it, basically any shirts.
Yeah.
Apparel is honestly the easy stuff: shirts, hoodies, polos, hats, anything like that. But also pens, mugs, magnets, bags. Back scratchers, USB sticks, anything you'd like to put your logo on, let us know, and we will make that happen for you. Other than that, I don't have anything else. We've been running for an hour.
Wow.
And we were worried if we weren't going to have anything
I
to talk
told
about
you
today.
what was going to happen.
Crazy.
And I called it before. You're going, no. But like I told you, once we start on a topic, it just kind of flows.
Well, Kelly, you're always right.
Now, I'm glad this is recorded because I'm going to pop this up whenever he says I'm wrong. Be like, remember that?
Right.
At 12:21 p.m. on Sunday afternoon.
3:16. Austin 3:16.
Austin 3:16. Oh my gosh.
Jinx. Ha! Danny would be so excited right now. Okay, mommy. Mommy Kelly. Kelly, your maiden name or your original? Kelly Staley.
Okay, we're good.
There you go. Oh my God. We're such dorks. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Kelly. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
And we love you too.
Have a good week.
We'll see you later. Peace.